Master Rig is a plugin that comes with Wavelab, and it contains a wide variety of different mastering processors, all inside of one plugin. And I've got that already installed into the first slot of my master section, but let me show you how to add it, just so that you know. There's a couple of different ways to remove a plugin. One way is to just hit the reset button to reset your master section back to the factory defaults without any mastering plugins loaded. But another option is to right or control click and choose Remove Plugin. That will just remove that one plugin from that one slot. Then you can right or control click on it, go down to the Steinberg category, go to the Mastering category, and call up Master Rig. But another option is to go under Favorites, and almost all the time you'll find Master Rig right there at the very, very top. So once you have Master Rig installed, it will open up the main window. I'm just going to drag this up here a little bit so we can see it a little better. And right now, we just have one module, which is the 8-band phase linear equalizer. It's a really, really great equalizer, but there are a lot of different modules in the Master Rig plugin. Let's click on Add Module here, and you'll notice that the processors are separated into 4 different categories. There's Dynamics, Equalizing, Saturation, and Imaging. So each of these processors is going to give you different types of mastering effects. And you'll notice that there are 2 different compressors along with 2 different equalizers and 2 different dynamic EQs and saturators. But be aware the only difference between the A and the B versions of these processors is just that you can add multiple EQs or multiple compressors to a project. In other words, you could have compressor A be a module, and then it feeds into equalizer A. But then if you needed some customized compression after the equalizer, now you can add compressor B. Compressor A and B look and perform identically. The reason that there's 2 of them is so that you can have multiple compressors or equalizers loaded into your signal chain. And the signal flow starts at the first module here on the left and then travels through the modules to the right. So the very last module that you'll use almost all the time is the limiter module. The limiter module establishes through either a brick wall or maximizer limiter the absolute output level of your mastered audio file. So it will be last. You'll very rarely put any modules behind the limiter because doing so may change the output level of your audio file to a point where it might be clipping the output during the rendering process. And then to get you started, Wavelab comes with custom Master Rig presets that you can access by hitting the preset button right here, and then going to the factory presets option, and here you'll find all sorts of different mastering presets from different mastering engineers like Alan Morgan, Greg Lukens, Ludwig Mayer, and Marco D'Agostino. And with any of those presets, you'll be able to try different mastering settings and see what other people have used in the Master Rig to master different genres of music. For example, if we just went to the Alan Morgan Mix Clarity right off the bat, you can see that he used an equalizer, a compressor, an imager, and a limiter. And we can listen to the before and after, again using the Smart Bypass really quickly. Let's rewind this file and just start some playback. And I'll update those gains. Now let's listen to the original versus the processed version. Let's try a different preset. Let's go to Alan Morgan again and call up the pop rock. I can already tell that's a little bit overly compressed for this particular tune. Let's turn down the optimize on the master limiter. Now let's go to the Smart Bypass and listen to the difference. And you may need to use the Update Gains feature to get the level the same between the presets. And that way you can really hear the differences between the original and the processed version. So each one of those presets is going to have different modules inside of the master rig. Let's go to something that's really different from a different engineer. Let's go with the pop production here. You can see this has only a few modules in it. It has one compressor, one dynamic EQ, and one limiter. But these other presets will have a lot of different settings in those modules. Sometimes they have a lot more modules. Let's find one that does. Something like, let's go with the rap version right here. Here is one dynamic EQ, followed by another dynamic EQ, a compressor, a saturator, an imager, and a limiter. And each one of those modules has different settings. So you can use a lot of different plugins in the master section if you want, including all the ones that come with Wavelab, but I know a lot of people that use the master rig, and that's all they use. The modules inside of master rig are really great, and so spend some time with those and listen to the different options and use the presets to get you going. So that's getting started with Wavelab, and now let's move on to mastering one audio file.